Captain Tom Reed of the human Confederacy ship, Resilient, stared at the message blinking on his command console. His jaw tightened as he read the demands for the third time. "They want us to surrender the ambassador and all weapon schematics," he announced to his bridge crew. "In exchange, they'll release the hostages." The bridge fell silent. Lieutenant Cape Davis, his second in command, stepped forward. "Sir, the Galactic Council's policy is clear. No negotiation with terrorists." "That's the Council's policy," Tom corrected. "Not ours." The Valari terrorist group had captured a research station housing 37 scientists, 23 aliens and 14 humans. The aliens represented 5 different Council species. For 3 standard weeks, the terrorists had been making increasingly outlandish demands while the Council deliberated. "The Council representatives are requesting to speak with you," Communications Officer Jack Wilson announced. "Put them through," Tom ordered. The main screen flickered to life, revealing the faces of 3 alien dignitaries: Ambassador Thrix of the Valari Central Authority, Councillor Molag of the Zentari Union, and Elder Prim of the Artesian Assembly. "Captain Reed," Thrix began, his silver skin reflecting the light unnaturally, "we understand your concern for the hostages, but the Council's position remains unchanged. We do not negotiate with terrorists." "With all due respect, Ambassador," Tom replied, "those are our people in there. And yours. While you've been debating protocol for 3 weeks, those hostages have been suffering. The stability of the galactic community depends on our adherence to principles," Elder Prim added, her multiple eyes blinking in sequence. "If we concede to these demands, it will only encourage more terrorist actions. So you're willing to sacrifice those 37 lives?" Tom asked, not bothering to hide his disgust. "Sometimes sacrifice is necessary for the greater good," Councillor Molag stated coldly. Tom leaned forward. "That's where humans differ from the Council. We don't abandon our people." "What are you proposing, Captain?" Thrix asked warily. "We're going to get those hostages out. All of them." "Impossible," Molag scoffed. "The terrorists have fortified the station. Any assault would result in the immediate execution of the hostages." "I'm not proposing an assault," Tom replied. "Not in the way you think. The Council cannot authorize any military action," Thrix warned. "I'm not asking for authorization," Tom said. "I'm informing you of our decision. The Resilient will handle this situation. This is a direct violation of Council authority." Molag protested. "No, Councillor. This is humanity showing the galaxy how we handle those who threaten innocent lives." Tom cut the transmission with a gesture. "Jack, prepare a response to the terrorists. Tell them we'll deliver what they want in person." "Sir," Jack looked confused. "We're going to give them exactly what they're asking for." Tom smiled grimly. "Lieutenant Davis, prep the Special Operations Team. It's time to show these terrorists the human way of dealing with threats." As the bridge crew hurried to their stations, Tom opened a channel to the ship's armory where his best tactical officer waited. "Major Grant, how quickly can you get your team ready for a package delivery?" Major Lisa Grant's voice came back instantly. "We can be ready in 30 minutes, Captain. Make it 20. We're about to teach the galaxy an important lesson about humanity." "Yes, sir," the Major replied, a hint of anticipation in her voice. Tom closed the channel and gazed out at the distant research station. The Council might believe in passive negotiations and accepting casualties as necessary sacrifices, but humans had learned long ago that some threats could only be handled one way. The Valari terrorists were about to discover why, throughout human history, the most dangerous position to be in was between humans and their captured friends. Major Lisa Grant assembled her 12-person tactical team in the Resilience deployment bay. Each soldier wore the latest stealth combat suit, matte black armor that absorbed both light and energy signatures. "Listen up," Lisa addressed her team. "The terrorists expect us to arrive with the ambassador and weapon schematics. Instead, they're getting us." She pulled up a holographic blueprint of the research station. The hostages are being held in 3 separate locations. She pointed to flashing red dots. Teams Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie will each target 1 location. Team Delta will neutralize the command center. What about their threat to kill the hostages if they detect an assault? Asked Sergeant Mike Jones, leader of Team Bravo. That's where this comes in. Lisa held up what appeared to be an ordinary data crystal, Tech Division's latest toy. Once activated, it will create a station-wide communications blackout. Their internal comms will fail simultaneously with our breach. Lieutenant Rob Taylor, the team's tech specialist, stepped forward. The device also emits a specific electromagnetic pulse that disrupts Valari neural pathways for approximately 3 minutes. They'll experience momentary disorientation while leaving humans and other species unaffected. Our advantage window is small, Lisa continued. We need to secure all hostages within those 3 minutes before the terrorists recover. What about council approval? Asked Corporal Anna Lee. Last I checked, they were still voting on whether to send strongly worded messages. A few chuckles rippled through the team. Captain Reed has informed the council of our intentions, Lisa replied carefully. Their approval is not required for this operation. The team understood the implication. This was a human operation, conducted the human way. Weapons check, Lisa ordered. Non-lethal ordnance is primary. We want to take prisoners if possible, but hostage safety is the absolute priority. If a terrorist threatens a hostage, you are authorized to use lethal force without hesitation. The deployment bay doors opened, revealing their transport, a modified shuttle stripped of all identifying marks and council registration. The perfect deniable asset. One more thing, Lisa added as they boarded. The council races will be watching how we handle this. They believe humans are unpredictable, emotional, and dangerous. Let's prove them right, in all the ways that matter. Aboard the bridge, Captain Tom was finalizing the operation with Lieutenant Kate. The council representatives are demanding we stand down, Kate reported. They're threatening sanctions against Earth if we proceed. Let them, Tom replied. When all those hostages are safely back home, including their people, they'll change their tune. And if they don't? Tom's expression hardened. Then maybe it's time the galaxy understands why humanity survived all our self-destructive tendencies. We protect our own, Kate. Always have, always will. Kate nodded. The shuttle is ready for launch, Captain. Give them the green light. In the deployment bay, Lisa received the confirmation. All right, people, we launch in 60 seconds. Remember, the hostages don't know we're coming. When you find them, identify yourselves clearly as human military. The alien hostages might not immediately trust us since we're operating against council orders. Maybe we should bring cookies, Mike joked. I hear aliens love our cookies. Save the diplomacy for after the mission, Sergeant, Lisa replied with a hint of a smile. Right now, we need to show them why taking human hostages is a tremendously bad idea. The shuttle's engines hummed to life as the team secured themselves in their harnesses. Lisa checked her neural link to the ship's systems one last time. 20 seconds to launch. Stealth systems active. Weapons hot. As the countdown reached 0, the shuttle slipped silently from the Resilient into the void of space, invisible to conventional sensors. Their destination, a heavily fortified research station held by terrorists who were about to learn a painful lesson about human resolve. The terrorist leader, Krell, watched through the station's viewports as a small transport approached. His second-in-command, Vex, monitored the incoming vessel's transponder signal. They claimed to be carrying the ambassador and the weapon schematics, Vex reported, his scaled fingers moving across the control panel. Only 2 human crew according to their life sign readings. Krell's mouth twisted into the Valari approximation of a smile. The council finally broke. They always do, eventually. Should we scan the vessel for weapons? Vex asked. No, Krell decided. Any active scans might spook them. Let them dock. We have enough fighters stationed in the hangar to handle 2 humans. What Krell didn't know was that the life sign readings were falsified. The transport's hull contained specialized materials that masked the presence of Lisa's tactical team, while projecting fake biosignatures that the station's passive sensors would detect. "They're requesting docking instructions," Vex announced. "Grant them access to Bay 3, Krell ordered. "Have 10 fighters meet them. The humans are to be disarmed immediately." As the transport docked, Lisa's team made final preparations. Their neural implants synchronized, allowing silent communication throughout the mission. "Remember," Lisa subvocalized to her team, "the moment we deploy the blackout device, we have exactly 3 minutes before the Valari recover." Teams move simultaneously. No hesitation. The transport's doors opened to reveal 2 humans in civilian clothes, both actually combat specialists, with Officer Ben Walker playing the role of the ambassador. "Welcome," Krell greeted them in the docking bay, surrounded by armed Valari. "I trust you've brought what we demanded." "The ambassador is here," Ben replied calmly, gesturing to his companion. "And this contains your weapon schematics." He held up a data crystal, the same one containing the blackout device. "Hand it over," Krell demanded. "First, we need proof the hostages are alive," Ben countered. Krell signaled to Vex, who activated a nearby screen showing feeds from the 3 hostage rooms. The captives looked tired and afraid, but alive. "Satisfied?" Krell asked. "Now, the crystal." Ben stepped forward, extending his hand with the crystal. "It's encrypted. Let me show you how to access it." The moment Krell took the crystal, Ben pressed a hidden contact point. "Now," he subvocalized. The crystal pulsed once, and every electronic system in the station flickered. The Valari terrorists suddenly staggered, their neural systems disrupted by the precisely calibrated electromagnetic pulse. In that instant, the transport's false hull sections blew outward, and 10 human operatives in stealth suits emerged, weapons ready. The 2 diplomats dropped to the floor as the tactical team opened fire with stun rounds, dropping the disoriented Valari guards before they could react. Throughout the station, 3 more teams emerged from hidden compartments in the transport structure, moving with practiced precision toward the hostage locations. Lisa led Team Alpha through maintenance tunnels, following the route memorized from the station's schematics. Using thermographic vision modes, they identified Valari guards through walls before engaging. "Contact. 3 hostiles," whispered Corporal Sam Hill, the team's point man. "Take them," Lisa ordered. Sam slipped around the corner, his weapon discharging 3 times in rapid succession. 3 Valari dropped without firing a shot. "Clear," Sam reported. "Hostage room ahead." Lisa approached the door, using a specialized device to override the lock. As the door slid open, frightened faces turned toward them. 5 humans and 4 aliens from various council species. "Human Confederacy Special Operations," Lisa announced clearly. "We're here to get you out." One of the human hostages, a woman with short gray hair, stood shakily. "The council authorized a rescue." "No," Lisa replied as her team secured the room. Humanity decided waiting wasn't an option. Across the station, Teams Bravo and Charlie were similarly breaching the other hostage rooms, while Team Delta, led by Lieutenant Rob, secured the command center. "Command center clear," Rob reported over their neural link. "Station controls secured." Lisa checked her chrono. 1 minute 40 seconds elapsed. "Start moving hostages to extraction." "Delta Team, begin data purge of all station systems." As they escorted the weakened hostages toward the docking bay, one of the alien scientists, a Zentari with translucent skin, approached Lisa. "The council refused to negotiate or attempt rescue," the Zentari stated, its voice modulated through a translator. "They abandoned us to preserve their principles." "Humans have principles too," Lisa responded while scanning for threats. "One of them is that we don't leave our people behind, or our allies, even against council orders." Lisa didn't hesitate. especially against Council orders when they're wrong. As they reached the docking bay, Team Delta reported complete control of the station. All terrorists had been captured or neutralized, with minimal casualties. The blackout device had worked perfectly, giving them the critical advantage needed. As the freed hostages boarded the transport, Lisa received a new message from Captain Tom. Major, be advised. 3 Council enforcement vessels are en route to your position. Time to extraction: 17 minutes. Lisa smiled grimly. Copy that, Captain. We'll be long gone by then, with all 37 hostages safe and sound. The Resilient received the returning transport with minimal ceremony, but maximum efficiency. Medical teams rushed to meet the freed hostages, while security personnel escorted the captured terrorists to the brig. Captain Tom stood in the docking bay as the last of the hostages disembarked. The alien scientists looked around in confusion, clearly surprised by their surroundings. Welcome aboard the HC Resilient, Tom greeted them. You're safe now. A tall, multi-limbed artesian stepped forward. Captain, I am lead researcher Dorn. We are grateful for our rescue, but this is not a Council vessel. No, Tom confirmed. This is a human Confederacy ship. The Council did not authorize this rescue. Asked another alien scientist, this one a bulky Zentari. The Council was still deliberating. Tom replied diplomatically. We decided to act. Major Lisa approached, helmet removed and armor still bearing scorch marks from the operation. All hostages accounted for, sir. 23 alien scientists and 14 humans. No casualties among the hostages. We captured 19 terrorists, including their leader. Excellent work, Major. The ship's communication system chimed. Captain, Jack's voice came through. We have an incoming transmission from the Council enforcement vessels. They're demanding we power down and prepare for boarding. Tom exchanged glances with Lisa. I'm sure they are. Tell them I'll be right there. He turned to the medical chief. Doctor, please see that our guests receive full medical attention. In the bridge minutes later, Tom faced the irate Council representatives on the main screen. Ambassador Thrix looked particularly outraged, his silver skin pulsating with emotion. Captain Reed, you have committed a serious violation of Council authority, Thrix began. Your unsanctioned military operation could have resulted in disaster. Instead, it resulted in 37 people being alive instead of dead, Tom countered. All hostages are safe aboard my ship, receiving medical care. That is fortunate, Elder Prim acknowledged, her multiple eyes blinking rapidly. However, the Council cannot allow military actions to be taken without proper authorization. The Human Confederacy authorized this mission, Tom stated firmly. As I explained before, we don't abandon our people. You also did not abandon our people, Councillor Molag noted, a hint of confusion in his voice. Why risk human lives for alien scientists? Tom's expression hardened. Because that's what allies do. They help each other, regardless of species. The scientists on that station were under our protection, all of them. A new figure appeared on the screen, a high-ranking Zentari official Tom didn't recognize. I am Supreme Counselor Jarn of the Zentari Union, the new arrival announced. Captain Reed, the researchers you rescued include some of our most brilliant scientific minds. The Zentari Union expresses its gratitude for their safe return. Tom inclined his head respectfully. We were simply doing what we believe is right, Counselor. Nevertheless, Ambassador Thrix cut in. There must be consequences for this breach of protocol. The Council demands you turn over the captured terrorists to our enforcement vessels. I'm afraid that won't be possible, Tom replied. These terrorists will face human justice for taking human hostages. This is outrageous, Thrix protested. No, what's outrageous is that the Council was willing to let those people die, rather than take decisive action. Tom shot back. The terrorists will receive fair trials under Human Confederacy law, with all evidence shared with the Council. The alien hostages are free to return to Council space as soon as they're medically cleared. Elder Prim leaned forward. Captain Reed, surely you understand that defying the Council in this manner could have diplomatic repercussions for Earth. I understand perfectly, Elder, Tom responded. I also understand that sometimes doing the right thing comes with consequences. We're prepared to accept those consequences. After the transmission ended, Lieutenant Kate approached him. Do you think there will be serious repercussions, sir? Tom gazed out at the stars. Officially, perhaps. Unofficially, I think a lot of Council species just learned something important about humanity. What's that, sir? That when we make alliances, we keep them. That our promises mean something. Tom turned to face his second-in-command. Set course for the nearest human Confederacy outpost. Maximum speed. What about the Council enforcement vessels? Tom smiled slightly. They're welcome to try and stop us, but I don't think they will. They've already seen what humans do when our people are threatened. I doubt they want another demonstration. As the Resilient accelerated away from the station, the Council vessels made no move to intercept. Instead, they maintained position, transmitting urgent messages back to Council headquarters. Humanity had just changed the rules of the game. 3 days later, the Resilient docked at Outpost Horizon, a human Confederacy stronghold at the edge of Council space. News of the rescue operation had spread rapidly through both human and alien channels, generating a storm of controversy and debate. Captain Tom sat in his ready room, reviewing the latest diplomatic communiques from Earth. The door chimed. Enter, he called. Lieutenant Kate stepped in, followed by an unexpected visitor, Ambassador Thrix of the Valari Central Authority. Tom stood, surprised. Ambassador, I wasn't aware you were aboard. I arrived an hour ago via diplomatic shuttle, Thrix explained. The Council sent me to discuss recent events. Please, have a seat. Tom gestured to the chairs. Lieutenant, would you give us some privacy? Once they were alone, Thrix spoke. Captain Reed, your actions have created quite a situation for the Council. I can imagine, Tom replied neutrally. Can you? Thrix's silver skin rippled with emotion. The public reaction across Council space has been unexpected. There have been demonstrations on 12 worlds, with citizens demanding to know why the Council failed to act while humans succeeded. Tom raised an eyebrow. I'm sure the Council has an explanation ready. We had principles, Thrix said, a hint of bitterness in his voice. Principles that seemed unassailable until humans proved them hollow. Our principles simply differ from yours, Ambassador. Thrix leaned forward. The Council has always believed that giving in to terrorists encourages more terrorism. That sacrificing a few can save many more in the future. Humans tried that approach in our history, Tom replied. It doesn't work. Terrorists don't respond to principled inaction. They understand only one thing, that their actions have immediate consequences. And yet you didn't kill them, Thrix observed. Your team captured most of the terrorists alive. Because justice matters too, Tom explained. Public trials, evidence presented, sentences carried out according to law. That's how we maintain civilization, while dealing with those who would destroy it. Thrix was silent for a moment. The Council has been forced to reconsider its position on handling terrorist incidents. I'm glad to hear it. Some Council members believe humans are too aggressive, too willing to use force. Thrix continued. Others now argue that perhaps there is wisdom in your approach. And what do you believe, Ambassador? Thrix met Tom's gaze steadily. I believe my nephew is alive because of human aggression. He was one of the Valari scientists held hostage. Tom's expression softened. I didn't know. Few did. I recused myself from Council deliberations due to the conflict of interest. Thrix's voice carried genuine emotion. For 3 weeks, I watched the Council debate while knowing he might die at any moment. I'm truly glad he's safe, Ambassador. My nephew told me something interesting, Thrix continued. He said that when your team found him, the human soldiers treated the alien hostages with the same urgency and care as their own kind. No preference was shown. Of course not, Tom said. They were all people who needed help. Such a simple concept, yet so profound. Thrix stood. Captain Reed, I came here with official censure documents from the Council. I was instructed to deliver them personally. He removed a data crystal from his robes and placed it on Tom's desk. Then, in a surprising move, he deliberately placed his hand over it. However, before I deliver these official reprimands, I feel obligated to inform you that the Valari Central Authority, along with the Zentari Union and Artesian Assembly, have formally requested these sanctions be reconsidered in light of mitigating circumstances. Tom understood the diplomatic game being played. I appreciate being informed, Ambassador. Thrix removed his hand from the crystal. I also bring an unofficial message. The families of the rescued scientists wish to express their personal gratitude. Many are influential individuals within Council space. Please convey our thanks for their kind words. I will. Thrix moved toward the door, but paused before exiting. One last thing, Captain. The Council has created a new subcommittee to review our protocols regarding hostage situations. They have requested human Confederacy representation. Tom nodded, recognizing the olive branch for what it was. I'm sure our government will be happy to provide suitable experts. After Thrix departed, Kate returned. How did it go, sir? Tom held up the data crystal containing the official reprimand. About as expected. Officially, we're in trouble. Unofficially, he smiled. I think we've just been invited to teach the Council how to deal with terrorists properly. The human way, Kate observed. The human way, Tom agreed. Sometimes you have to break the rules to do what's right. Outside the ready room, the rescued scientists were preparing to depart. The aliens returning to Council space, the humans to Earth. But something had fundamentally changed in how they viewed each other. A new respect had been forged in crisis. Alien scientists had seen firsthand that humanity's reputation for aggression had another side. Fierce loyalty and protection for allies, regardless of species. 1 month after the rescue operation, Major Lisa stood at rigid attention in the Grand Assembly Hall on Earth. The room was filled with high-ranking military officers, government officials, and most surprisingly, a delegation of Council representatives. Admiral James White, commander of the Human Confederacy Fleet, approached the podium. Today, we recognize the extraordinary actions of Major Lisa Grant and her tactical team from the HC Resilient, the Admiral began. Their mission to rescue hostages from a terrorist-held research station demonstrated the highest traditions of human courage and determination. Lisa glanced sideways at her team, all standing at attention beside her. They had expected punishment, not commendation. For successfully rescuing 37 hostages without a single civilian casualty, I present Major Grant and her team with the Star of Valor. As the Admiral pinned the medal to her uniform, Lisa spotted Captain Tom in the audience, smiling proudly. Beside him sat several of the alien scientists they had rescued, including lead researcher Dorn and Thrix's nephew. After the ceremony, Lisa found herself approached by an Artesian diplomat she didn't recognize. Major Grant, the Artesian greeted her, multiple limbs performing a complex gesture of respect. I am Council Representative Trell. Your actions have sparked considerable discussion within the Council. Good discussions, I hope, Lisa replied carefully. Illuminating ones, Trall said. For centuries, the Council has approached interstellar security with caution and deliberation. Your species brings a different perspective. We tend to be more direct, Lisa acknowledged. Indeed, that directness saved 37 lives. Trell's compound eyes focused intently on her. The Council is establishing a new rapid response task force for hostage situations and terrorist threats. We would be honored if you would consider a position as human liaison and training advisor. Lisa blinked in surprise. That would require Council approval. It has already been granted, Trall informed her. Not unanimously, but with sufficient majority. Before Lisa could respond, Captain Tom joined them. Quite an honor, Representative Trell. The Major would be an excellent choice. Captain Reed, Trawl acknowledged. Your ship's actions have forced many within the Council to reconsider long-held policies. Change is often uncomfortable but necessary, Tom observed. A very human sentiment, Trawl replied, yet perhaps one with merit. Later, during the reception, Lisa found herself alongside several of her team members, watching humans and aliens mingling with surprising ease. Did you ever think we'd be getting medals instead of court-martials? Mike asked, sipping his champagne. Honestly, no, Lisa admitted, but I'd do it again in a heartbeat. As would I, said a voice behind them. They turned to find one of the rescued Centauri scientists. Your team saved my life, Major. All our lives, just doing our job, Lisa replied. No, the Centauri scientist corrected. You were doing more than your job. You were defying an established galactic consensus to do what you believed was right. That requires something beyond duty. What do humans call it? Asked another alien who had joined them. Going with your gut. Lisa smiled. Something like that. Across the room, Captain Tom was engaged in serious conversation with Admiral White and several government officials. The Council is opening previously restricted technologies to us, the Admiral was saying. Apparently, our stock has risen considerably. They respect strength and principle, Tom observed. We showed both. They also fear us a little more now, noted one official. Tom shook his head. Fear isn't what we want. Understanding is. They need to understand that humans will always take action when lives are at stake, even at great risk to ourselves. The human way, as it's being called in Council space, the Admiral said with a slight smile. I've been hearing that phrase, Tom acknowledged. Not always negatively either. No, agreed the official. Our diplomatic corps reports that several smaller non-Council species have reached out about potential alliances. They seem to value our proactive approach to protection. As the reception continued, an aide approached with an urgent message for the Admiral. After reading it, Admiral White gestured for Tom to join him in a private corner. It seems your actions have had further repercussions, the Admiral said quietly. We've just received word that the Valari terrorists you captured have provided intelligence on 3 other cells planning similar operations. I'm not surprised, Tom replied. Once they realized we weren't going to execute them or throw them into some hellish prison without trial, they became more cooperative. Justice with mercy, the Admiral mused. Another human concept the Council is struggling to understand. Tom looked out over the gathering. Humans and aliens talking, some even laughing together. They'll learn. We did, after all. It took us centuries of making mistakes to reach these principles. And yet some Council species have existed for thousands of years longer than we have, the Admiral noted. Sometimes the youngest have the most to teach, Tom suggested. The Admiral smiled. A nice sentiment for your upcoming address. My what? Didn't I mention? The Council has requested you speak at their next General Assembly about the human approach to galactic security. Tom stared at him. They can't be serious. Completely serious. It seems you've become something of a reluctant diplomat, Captain. The Admiral clapped him on the shoulder. Congratulations, you've introduced the galaxy to the human way, for better or worse. Let's hope it's for better, Tom replied softly, watching as human and alien continued to bridge gaps that only weeks ago had seemed unbridgeable. 6 months later, Captain Tom stood before the assembled representatives of the Galactic Council on their central world of Harmonia. The Grand Chamber, designed to accommodate species of all physiologies, hummed with anticipation. This marked the first time a human military officer had been invited to address the full council on matters of security policy. The enormous chamber held thousands of representatives from over 200 species. Distinguished representatives of the Galactic Council, Tom began, his voice carrying through the perfect acoustics of the chamber. 6 months ago, a difficult situation forced both humans and the Council to confront our differences in philosophy and approach. He paused, looking across the sea of alien faces. Those differences nearly cost 37 innocent lives. Instead, they revealed a path forward, not one where humans conform to council traditions, nor where the council adopts human methods wholesale, but where we learn from each other. In the front row sat Major Lisa, now serving as the human liaison to the new Rapid Response Task Force. Beside her were several of the rescued scientists, including Thrix's nephew, now an outspoken advocate for cooperation between humans and the Council. Humanity's history is filled with conflict, Tom continued. We nearly destroyed ourselves multiple times, but through those dark chapters, we learned valuable lessons about dealing with those who reject peaceful coexistence. Elder Prim leaned forward in her seat. And what lessons would those be, Captain Reed? That principles without action are merely words, Tom replied. That protecting innocent lives sometimes requires risk. That showing mercy to enemies can be as powerful as defeating them. And that unwavering resolve in the face of threats is not a weakness of civilization, but its strength. The chamber remained silent, absorbing his words. The creation of the Joint Rapid Response Task Force represents a significant step forward, Tom acknowledged. Already, this cooperation has prevented 3 potential hostage situations and disrupted multiple terrorist networks. Supreme Counselor Jarn of the Zentari stood. Some among us still question whether the human way, as it has come to be known, is compatible with Council principles of peace and deliberation. Peace is our goal as well, Counselor, Tom assured him. Humans don't seek conflict. We prepare for it, so that we can protect what matters most: life, liberty, and the right of all sentient beings to exist without fear. Tom gestured to a large display behind him, which activated to show the research station where the hostages had been held. Before our operation, terrorists believed they could manipulate the Council through fear. They knew the Council would debate, deliberate, and ultimately sacrifice hostages rather than act decisively. The display shifted to show the captured terrorists now standing trial. Today, those same terrorists face justice, not execution, not torture, but fair trials with all evidence presented transparently. This is also the human way. Ambassador Thrix rose next. Captain Reed, since your operation, terrorist incidents throughout Council space have decreased by 17%. Some attribute this to fear of human intervention. With respect, Ambassador, I disagree, Tom replied. It's not fear of humans that's causing this decline. It's the knowledge that neither humans nor the Council will allow terrorism to succeed. The calculus has changed. He turned, addressing the entire assembly directly. Throughout our history, humans learned that when good people refuse to act against evil, evil prevails. When we say no deals with terrorists, we don't mean no communication or no understanding. We mean no surrender to those who would use innocent lives as bargaining chips. The chamber erupted in discussion, some voices raised in agreement, others in dissent. Tom waited patiently for order to be restored. Humanity doesn't claim to have all the answers, he concluded as the noise subsided. Our approach is imperfect, born from our own violent past. But we offer what we've learned through bitter experience, that sometimes the protection of life requires decisive action, that justice must be both firm and fair, and that principles are meaningless unless we're willing to stand by them when tested. He looked across the chamber one final time. The human confederacy remains committed to Council cooperation. We will continue to share our knowledge, our technology, and yes, our different perspective. Because a galaxy where diverse approaches come together is stronger than one constrained by rigid thinking. That, too, is the human way. When Tom finished, the chamber remained silent for several heartbeats. Then, starting from the front rows and spreading outward, representatives began to stand, not in the human tradition of applause, but in the Council gesture of respect and acknowledgement. Later, as Tom prepared to return to the Resilient, Major Lisa joined him on the shuttle platform. "Quite a speech, Captain," she remarked. "I didn't know you had such diplomatic skills." "Neither did I," Tom admitted. But sometimes the truth is the best diplomacy. The Council has officially adopted our training protocols for hostage response, Lisa informed him, and 7 non-Council species have requested bilateral security agreements with Earth specifically. Tom nodded, gazing out at the magnificent skyline of Harmonia. You know what's ironic, Major? For centuries, humans feared that when we finally encountered alien civilizations, our warlike tendencies would make us the outcasts of the galaxy. Instead, it's made us valuable allies, Lisa observed. Not our capacity for violence, Tom corrected. Our capacity for protective action. There's a difference.